Well, what is going on, guys, and welcome into the video. So it's getting close to the time for Palantir's earnings, and with the market in chaos and a recession looming and conflicting data basically everywhere, Palantir's earnings are critical, especially given the chaos after the last earnings call. We must get down to the bottom of what is going to happen on these earnings and what the stock will do if Alex bangs the table again. It's an indicator of a company's performance, apparently. So I want to address exactly what I see happening and my exact plan through it all. I just ask in exchange for you to gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do if you like the truth without the hype. Alright, so this earnings season has once again been nothing short of extraordinary. I mean, you basically got mega caps still moving wildly like they're small caps, but the market is finally starting to reward anyone with good earnings or even okay earnings with good guidance. Now yes, misses and misses mixed with lower guidance are being punished with 10%, even 20% downward moves, and you have huge misses being rewarded with 25% downward moves or more. That part is not unusual and honestly in line with the past couple of earnings seasons, but it is unusual to see such weakness across big tech and to see them taking some of these huge hits like some of those small caps were taking. Heck, Apple even fell like 5% after earnings were announced on a double beat. Now the market quickly corrected itself and Apple was up after that, but man are they standing by to just punish anyone for anything it seems. Earnings season is usually wild and doesn't make a lot of sense, but it has been epically ridiculous so far this year, and this earnings season has been no exception. Now, having said all that, I honestly see Palantir's earnings just a little bit differently, and here is why. As we discussed before, there's a constant battle in the stock. I mean, is it a future $1 trillion company, or is it just trash and another stock destined to be bankrupt in a few years? Seriously, people view it as either a stock Wall Street will be late to, or it's completely overhyped garbage that's just doomed to fail. Kind of like Tesla was a few years ago. I mean, maybe not as extreme on the bull and the bear side, but Palantir clearly falls into the, I basically get it and it's going to be big one day, or I don't get it and it's just overpriced hype like many stocks that were popular on YouTube last year were. And all you got to do is look no further than the last earnings call where even the Palantir bulls were questioning their decisions or just straight up selling the stock because there was so much of a mixed feeling about what went on in those earnings. Now, I personally didn't think it was that bad at all, and it was far from the worst earnings call or behavior from a CEO I've ever heard by a mile, and actually not even the worst from Palantir in that respect. So I didn't get the, that feeling and why everybody wanted to do that. Now, whoa, slow down. That doesn't mean I'm right and they're wrong or vice versa or anything else like that. It just means I didn't see it the same way, and Palantir kind of seems to create that kind of divide, that great divide among investors. Unfortunately, I think Palantir's earnings were going to give both sides talking points that will bolster their positions, which means it's essentially going to remain extremely divided for now. I mean, nothing shocking there. I think Palantir has a small beat on revenue and increases free cash flow once again. They also have several new contracts that were announced this quarter, just like they do every quarter. And last quarter, they discussed the lag in government contracts actually paying out, which is normal for the government. I mean, shocking, I know, our government being late on something or being a mess. But if we don't see those contracts that we know are coming still not hitting the bottom line, then it could be another rough quarter from the financial standpoint. There was also several large contracts that were renewed, which proves that the business model is sticky and that at this stage it is very hard for customers, especially the government, to switch vendors. Don't even get me started on the commercial versus the government side of the business and all the, up and down and people making a case for one, then making a case for the other, and then just not being happy no matter what they do. Palantir cures cancer and someone will complain and say they are trash. I guess it's just the world we live in now, but that will be the case with Palantir. So the bottom line is, there is nothing coming in these earnings that will either prove the bears or the bulls right with this stock for now. However, Alex and the team over there are not even trying to win the battle today, and honestly, I don't think they're concerned with any of this at all. If you did your due diligence on this management team, you know that is not where their focus lies at all. So you cannot expect huge, incredible earnings calls if they're not gearing the business to that in the first place, and honestly, they don't care to gear it to that at all. So what am I doing personally? Well, I was busy buying this dip like crazy, just like the last dip in the $6 and $7 range, despite all the noise during this time about don't buy, the market is going lower. This indicator says on the 8th fall day that starts with an S, so that means every stock that starts with a P will fall 30% because the 269-day moving average crossed with the Gucci Nietzsche line that only the super secret hedge funds know about and use to screw you over is flashing sell and run. I ignored all that noise, and so did many of you, and absolutely the people in my group did, as the buy alerts were going off like crazy during that time frame because the stock hit our price targets like many stocks have been doing lately. Which don't forget to check out the group if you want to see all the buys like that in real time, my watch list with price targets, take 5 courses, and basically have a massive support group cutting through all the noise to help navigate the chaos with actual facts. That's the pinned comment down below. But the bottom line is I wasn't listening to the noise and I wasn't not going to take advantage of crazy opportunities right in front of me because it might go lower. But let me be clear and upfront with this fact. You cannot time the market. Nobody can time the market. I am still seeing the sell and take your gains and go all cash on YouTube or everyone making 37 different price predictions on the stock, which I have no idea or anyone can keep up with it all together. And the time to sell and go all cash was last November, not in the depths of this crash. And just because they sell today and it goes lower tomorrow does not mean it was a good move unless they bought the next lower move down. Which, if they did, it will probably go lower than that in the short term, and you are still losing, except now you incurred a tax bill if you sold for a gain in the first place, and you're essentially now a long-term investor trying to day trade, and that never works out over the long run. I have no issues with people trading, but if you're a long-term investor, what happens tomorrow is not really your concern since nobody knows what will happen with any degree of accuracy, so what's the point in making any short-term price predictions? I mean, if Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and all the greats say you can't do it, why would I even bother with it? So that means if you're worried about what Palantir will do tomorrow, or finding the bottom, or guessing stock price movements based on what the Fed says, or buying and selling based on recession indicators, or anything else like that, then you are short-term speculating, or you're basically trying to time the market, even if that's not what you want to call it. Phrase it however you want, but that is what you are doing, and nobody can do it over the long run with any accuracy, so honestly, good luck with that if you want to try it. I'm not playing Wall Street's games. However, I can take advantage of the chaos that they create if you play the long game and stay away from all the short-term speculation. So I am simply sitting back and watching the numbers and then watching what Wall Street does to see if indeed they drop, Palantir back down to my price range. If so, I absolutely will be a buyer as I have cash ready to deploy because I don't care about the short-term price action. I care about how the business is performing. What? I mean, suddenly the price goes down and Palantir isn't performing as a business, is just a terrible company just because the stock goes down? Every stock that has ever existed gets decoupled from the underlying fundamentals of the company from time to time, and those are some of the best times to buy those stocks. Wall Street wants to give me Palantir at $6 again? I will happily take it. And if Wall Street gets really dumb and sends it down to $5, I will add again. And yes, I would still add if that was all the cash that I had, because I don't care about the price next month or even next year. I'm looking out 3 to 5 years, and I personally will be quite happy with the shares that I bought now, even if it went lower in the short term. Holding and looking to add at your price targets when short-term issues arise, like an earnings call, is okay or, not great, or sometimes even great, but the stock sells off anyways. That's the perfect time I like to add. So make sure you have your price targets ready so you can execute if they hit. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you don't know how to get a price target or how to do a valuation and want a step-by-step process for doing that, building wealth, and you want direct access to me and much more, remember to check out the pinned comment down below to become a member and at least look at everything you get. And click this video here for the stocks I'm still buying in this market, and click here for exactly what I'm doing to make huge money in this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.